we don't whisper and try to keep things hidden. We bring it to the forefront and get things adjusted so that we're able to be the best we can be. Wait, y'all missed that. I said the best we can be. So what we want to do, we want to continually encourage each other. We want to strengthen each other because we're better together. You know, I always say teamwork makes the dream work, and it doesn't seem work. It's not too hard on none of us when we do this thing together. So let's continue to work together, and let's continue to be a team that will not give in or give up for no reason whatsoever. And don't forget, those that are in prison. Now, a few of us get to go in prison kind of regularly, and we get to talk to the men and the women, and they're in there excited about New Freedom. When you say New Freedom on the yard, it's a roar throughout that place because they are excited to be getting ready to come somewhere that cares about them. All they've heard is about good. Even those that seem to end up coming here, leaving, and going back, they talk about this place like it's the best thing since sliced bread. So right now, I'm going to pray, and then I'm going to move out the way and pass this mic to Matt, because I get a mic in my hand, I get a little excited. Father, we thank you on today for everything you've done, everything you're doing. We give you the praise, the glory, and the honor for just blessing this place. What you have done from the beginning, you saw it back then, and you see our future. You know where you're taking us. And we thank you for what you're about to do, and we give you all the praise, glory, and honor. Continue to draw this team together to be the adhesive. You be the adhesiveness in this team to keep us connected, to keep us strengthened, to keep us reminded on the assignment that you have on our lives. For each and every person that's here and on their way, we thank you, we praise you, we give you all the glory in advance. Continue to empower us, to continue to meet us right where we are and meet the needs of the people that are on their way. We thank you and praise you. In the mighty name of Jesus, we all say amen. Matt?
Thanks, Chap. I don't know why I have to follow him every time. Thanks, everyone, for being here. Hard to believe it's 4 years. We've gone through a lot of stuff, as Chap had said, but we have survived through it all, and we are thriving right now. One of the things we've strived for over the last year is to be as transparent as possible. You all get monthly messages from me and the rest of the team letting you know what's going on. So my intent today is give you that message verbally for this month and let you know, what's been going on and what we have coming up. I got a clicker. Wow. Sure. I've hit all the buttons. Well, good thing I know what I'm supposed to be talking about. One of the things that we've been challenged with is when we went through the last couple of suspensions is we lost a couple of our payers, our contractors. So we've been working very diligently with a couple of the contractors that we are uncontracted with. We've had a couple of initial meetings, and we have a tour that will happen in the next month and a half or so. Our intent is to be contracted with all the payers, so we're diligently working through that. Another item that we have is the women's facility. So I gave you an update that what's going on with the women's facility. We have our certificate of occupancy for the building in general, and we're still working on the kitchen area, which should be done late next month. In the meantime, we're just waiting on Arizona Department of Health Services for licensing. They are scheduled to come out in the next week to do their inspection. So hopefully that goes well. Sometimes they find some minor things and we'll have to fix those and come on. But our hope is that within the next 2 or 3 weeks that we're up and operational at the women's facility. Related to that, the transitional service contract. We've already begun here for the last 2 months doing the transitional services contract for members that come here. Now we're trying to do that to people that don't come here, that we mentor, or that just get assigned to us. We've got a standalone facility on Dunlap that has gone through ADHS, and it's had its initial inspection. We have one thing, we're waiting on the fire marshal, and that should be up and operationally, hopefully by next week. So those two really important cogs in the pieces that we try to put together to support people, not just here, but outside of here. Peer support certification. That program has been instrumental to what we do here, and it got shut down in regards to us being able to certify people when we went through our suspension last fall. We have now been re-engaged and we are reclassified. So that's thanks to all of you for really believing and continuing with the process. So we're excited to be able to offer. It's an important part of what our members expect from us, and they really want to come and give back, so that's really important. ADHS Behavioral Health Policy, they have come out with a new guideline. That guideline takes effect on 10/1, so we've worked diligently to figure out how we modify our program to make sure that we're continuing to take care of our members first and adhere to the new guidelines. So there'll be some changes that'll be coming, and every 6 months, access issues, new changes. This is a major one. They've had the federal government kind of breathing down their neck for the last year and a half or so with all the fraud that's been going on. So they're really trying to streamline and ensure efficiency and that no fraud happens again. So we've been scrubbing that very diligently, and you'll hear about some of the changes that are coming, but it's all with how do we take care of our members and comply with access guidelines. And last, I'm excited about doing this again. After the last all hands, I had 4 or 5 different sessions, chats with Matt, or whatever you want to call them. After this session, you're going to have questions. It's an opportunity to come, sit down, ask questions, dig deeper into this presentation, and really ask anything. Nothing off limits. If I can answer it, I will. If I can't, I'll go get the answer. So I'm excited for that, and I'm really excited that we've made it through 4 years, and we're continuing to really impact and change lives. So thank you.
Good morning. Let's see if I can get this to cooperate. Good morning, everyone. Okay, excited to give you some people HR updates this morning, and I was recapping, kind of preparing last night, and I'm like, uh-oh, I have to pare way back what I was going to talk about. So first I'm going to start with Engagement Multiplier. They rebranded this to Empowered, which I love, because the whole point of this, and most of you are familiar with our employee survey tool, I love that they call it Empowered, because our intention with this is to really empower you to tell us what you think. There's multiple choice facets to this, but what we love the most about it is the feedback and your comments. The purpose of this is to take those comments and come up with themes, areas of focus, to hear from you, to use your feedback, and to take that as actionable items for us as leadership. So I'm not going to deep dive into the actions that we've taken from your themes and feedback. What I'm going to do instead, because time is of the essence today, and my friend and partner co-worker Mark Miola has a bunch of stuff to tell you about, so I'm going to leave him more time today, and instead what I'm going to do is send you kind of a recap and tell you about our action items that we've been working really hard on the last 6 months. Instead, what I'm going to touch on is the things and areas of focus, which are purpose, communication, and growth, and those are the things that you told us you'd most like to see us focus on, which I think make perfect sense considering kind of what we went through the end of 2023, which was hard stuff. So these are perfect areas for this year and our regrowth and our build back up and all the things we've been accomplishing thus far. With purpose specifically, this is making sure that all of the key decisions we make and all of your roles, that all of those things very evidently tie back to our purpose and our mission and our values and why we're here and what we're endeavoring toward. Our communication is an ask from all of you to make sure that we have a lot of transparency and more frequent communication, and again, the why behind what we're doing, and more frequent updates to all of you, and making sure that if you don't hear it firsthand from us, that we can cascade that communication right down to all of you. And then the third thing is growth, and this is a lot of what we've been focusing on in particular in HR. And I'm going to dive next into kind of a lot of what we've been focusing on in our HR happenings and how that ties back to growth and development, hopefully for all of you. So turning to kind of where we've been focusing in HR, and I'm going to talk about kind of some of the, I guess, more measurable things we've been doing through our team. We rolled out the HR help desk, the service desk this year, and as an extension of that, SharePoint and HR Hub to hopefully give you a lot more tools and resources and time-saving mechanisms to have that be your first stop shop, to save you time and to give you a place to go and find answers firsthand. I know sometimes it seems like the easier thing of, oh, let me just go knock on HR's door. But this hopefully serves the purpose of a learning mechanism for you, and by saving yourself time, you also save us time. And that becomes really, really important to drive those efficiencies, because that gives our team more time in our day to focus on the really impactful stuff, to grow more tools and resources and processes and procedures and things, initiatives that can make the workplace better for all of you. So thank you so much for using those tools that we put in place very intentionally for all of you. We've also been really, really focused on hiring and the new employee experience through New Hire Celebration. HR has conducted about 80 hours of new hire celebrations and orientations. We're so excited that we've been able to really turn back to hiring. We've, on top of that, conducted about 100 hours of other trainings through supervisor and employee lunch and learns. We're going to really scale up employee lunch and learns. We've done a lot of supervisor lunch and learns and trainings, but we're going to turn to employee trainings as well. And that doesn't include all of the preparation that goes into those trainings ahead of time and then rolling them through Relias so we can continue them into the future. We've pushed out about 123 offer letters, so that means we're bringing on a bunch of faces that have been here before and a bunch of new faces, so very, very excited about that. And then we've developed about 200 additional standardized phone screens, interview guides, application templates. This helps us ensure a fair and equitable hiring process, both internal and external applicants. I absolutely realize that so many of you have been leaning in, working extra hard, sometimes doing 2 or 3 jobs. I know that that's been a lot of extra work and a lot of extra ask on so many of you. Just know that this has all been with the intention of making sure that we're bringing on the right people in the right seats and making the absolute best decisions as we bring on new people to help us with all of the things we're endeavoring to do and get better and better at what we do. I also wanted to, in particular, call out the annual workforce development plan that's a requirement from AZAHP. This is a compliance requirement that I'm not sure many people are aware of, but this is another thing that rolls through HR. And this is important because this is a documented plan where we have goals that are workforce and HR related with measurable key performance indicators that we have to report back. That's a contractual requirement that we're measured on. It's an important thing that further builds confidence in New Freedom as a workforce, an employer, and our position in the behavioral health field. And I'm super proud and happy to report that we scored 37 out of 40 points this year, which is an accomplished status. So a big shout out to us as a workplace and an extra big shout out to our HR team because this is a big accomplishment and definitely a big improvement year over year from where we've been. And I guess that segues me into, and Mark will talk a little bit more about this, but I just want to express tremendous thanks to my HR team. I sit in our L10s and I hear week in week again how I sort of set forth a strategy and a big ask, and I hear them talk about week over week how they want to make things better, and they care so much about all of you and the workplace we're creating, and not just policies and procedures and accountabilities and all these have to do things, but genuinely their desire to make this a great place for all of you. And they do it with a servant heart, and they want to make this a restorative place, and they do it with a tenacious attitude. And in the same way, they really care about taking care of all of you in the same way you care about our members tremendously. So thank you so much to all of our HR team standing there in the back. Thank you so much. So I'm going to move on to some coming soon reminders. Please don't boo me off stage, and please don't throw Rotten Tomatoes at me. We are not having a raffle today. The good news is, though, everybody is going to get a swag bag. Well intended, unfortunately, a whole big swag bag did not come in time. FedEx dropped the ball on our delivery. However, everybody is going to get a swag bag with 2 t-shirts and a whole bunch of other goodies beyond what you got today. So that's coming soon. And then we are going to do an ice cream social on October 8th. And we're going to do some fun stuff in break rooms, and we're going to fancy up the break rooms a little bit, do some treats in there on October 9th. Matt talked about the roundtables, chats with Matt. That was really fun last time to answer your questions, so please take advantage of that. Sign up in Relias. I'm going to push out some invites for that later this week. And then just some reminders that we're going to do open enrollment for your benefits. So you heard a little bit about benefits and the savings and part of total rewards and what that means in terms of, in addition to what you see on your paycheck, those of you who participated in that total comp employee lunch and learn. So come and learn more about that. That's happening in October and November. So now I want to turn to us celebrating core values and our 2024 Employees of the Month. So I'm going to ask these folks to please stand, and I'm also going to give some shout outs to our 2023 Employees of the Month when we were also celebrating those core value folks. So if you are here, Jose Calderon, please stand up. Justine Jackson, Lacey Biondo, Mari Morgan, Eddie Dunham, Adrian Morales Gutierrez, D.B. Lyons, Dean Gauger, Soka Lonkar, and Robert Perez. So all of these people, all of you are a shining example of our core values and our purpose and our mission day in and day out. We appreciate you tremendously. None of this is possible without all of you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. This is always an ask, always so important that we honor and recognize one another. So from the HR team, it can't all rely on the HR team. It can't all rely on our leadership. It's really, really important. My ask and encouragement to all of you is when you see someone doing great things, which happens all day, every day, please take that extra moment to go in and nominate someone. Beyond going and telling them that you're seeing them in real time do amazing, magical things, please take a moment to recognize them and continue to nominate them so we can make sure to keep this Employee of the Month initiative and all the other good stuff and the company culture building things going. The thing that I want to leave you with is kind of a fun thing and a meaningful thing, and it's something that resonates with me about New Freedom. How many people here watch Ted Lasso and know who Ted Lasso is? Okay. So Ted Lasso, this resonates with me about Ted Lasso. Those of you who don't know Ted Lasso, it's a show. He's an American soccer coach who goes over to England and coaches his professional soccer team, and he has a southern drawl, so I'm not going to do it justice, but he's beyond soccer. This is like a real feel-good show, and it's much more than soccer. It's about life and leadership, and it's just amazing. So this Ted Lasso quote very much 4 years into New Freedom. He says, taking on a challenge is a lot like riding a horse. If you're comfortable while you're doing it, you're probably doing it wrong. This is so New Freedom to me. When you think about a horse, you think about this ginormous, majestic creature with a mind of its own, stubborn, ornery, feisty. How am I going to get this big thing to move and do what I want it to do? Bumpy, definitely uncomfortable if you've ever ridden a horse, certainly intimidating. You're probably going to fall off, super scared to get back on it. But once you get it going, it's magical and amazing and rewarding, but not easy. And I've seen all of you get back on the horse. I know it's not been easy, but what I've seen when we've navigated all these challenges, even though it's been uncomfortable, is greatness. There's so much greatness that's come on the other side of all this hard stuff. So I just want to encourage you to continue to embrace the challenges because we have definitely, to Chap's point, it's made us better. And I absolutely know we're going to continue to inspire and achieve greatness. So thank you so much. I am going to hand it over to Mark. I'll even flip the slide for you.
Thank you, Siobhan. So how about another big hand for what HR does behind the scenes? I don't know if you guys see it like I see it, but they have gone a long way to make sure that they hear your voices, and they've been leading the charge and taking action, hearing what your input is. So thank you very much for leading that charge, Siobhan. It's so important that we hear our people. All right, so I love to do these things, and let me tell you why. So for those of you who know me, I do a lot of reading in my car on the way to and from work. I call it Highway University, and one of the books that I've read recently is called The Gap and the Gain by Dan Sullivan. And the basic premise around that is that we spend a lot of time chasing that gap. We want to get to that next goal. We want to get to the first $1 million as a company. We want to get to that next $1 million. There's always the horizon. You can never get to the horizon, right? It's always going to be there. And we can become obsessed looking for the horizon and trying to get there. But we don't necessarily take the time to look back at the gain we've made from where we've been. These events allow us to do that. So I love this stuff. I think Justine stopped me in the hallway on the way down the elevator. She said, are you anxious about tomorrow? Are you nervous? I said, no, I love this stuff. I love talking to you guys. I get energy from it. I get the opportunity to look back and see where we've been. So can I do that with you? Yeah. All right, so 2 things I want to talk about. Number 1, you know I'm a numbers guy, right? If you don't know that yet, you're going to find out pretty soon. So I'm going to look at some of the key metrics that the executive team looks at, the operations leadership team looks at every week. And I'm going to show you how those have gone. And then I want to talk about other key accomplishments, some of the unsung heroes out there that you might not know some of the stuff that we've accomplished, and we got to take a look at it. Okay, so the first is what I call, or what we call member census. The graph on the left is the past couple of years. The graph on the right is just this past year. I just blew it up, right? So what I want to call to your attention is the graph on the left. And if you look at the very bottom, does this thing have a pointer on it?
Yes, but it won't work on TVs.
Oh, never mind. All right, so do you see that little arrow at the bottom left, the purple arrow, right? We were at about 100 members. When I first got here, we were at about 350 some odd, maybe we might have been up to 390 at the time. So it's not because of me, I didn't bring it down, but so do you guys all remember what happened there? We went on the proverbial naughty list, right? So because we were on the naughty list, ADCRR didn't want to send anybody to us, they wouldn't allow them to come, people were leaving, our name was mud on the streets, etc. And we got down to 100 people that, guess what? We took care of despite not being paid for. because we have the servant heart, right? So Chap talked about it. We got knocked down. But what did we do? We got back up. We worked together to get back up. And we got all the way back up to about 390 again. And guess what happened? That freaking naughty list. We're back on the naughty list, right? So that took us down precipitously again. And we had to retool, and we had to rework, and we had to pull together. And guess what we did again? Look at the graph on the right. We net add one new person every single day since we started to recover there. Every day we're adding at least one net new person. That's phenomenal, right? So here's the question for you. Who's responsible for making that line go up and to the right? You are. Everybody? Really? Yeah? The dishwasher? Yeah? The Soka? Yeah? She is solely responsible. Good job, Soka. How about the mentors? Yeah? How about just making sure that they were covered with the right insurance policy when they got here? Kayla and Maddie and Candace? Did the drivers have to get them here? Right? Did we have to count all the beans in finance on how to figure out how to bill them, right? I would be hard pressed to find anybody in this room that had nothing to do with that line going up and to the right. Except for if you started day one. Is anybody, this is their first day? No? Well, then thank you to every single person in this room. You made that happen, and we are... If that's not tenacity, I don't know what is. Okay, my second slide here is focused on the member focus, right? So we all know what we're trying to accomplish here, right? We want our members to be successful when they graduate our program, participate in society and the community, and to do that, there are a number of things we do. One is that we have group sessions, we have therapy sessions, evolution, transformation group, etc. And we track how often they're there versus when they ought to be there, right? You would think that the more that they are there getting the program that they need, the better they're going to do, right? So what we find is that, and if you're going to take notes, this is one I would write down. You get what you measure. No one wrote it down, but that's all right. You get what you measure. So we started measuring this. We put a huge focus on this. And this created new positions. So at our front desk now, we're keeping members accountable for when they're coming and going and making sure that they are going to the classes they need to go to. Do you think any of them kind of worked the system a little bit previously? Right? So Jameson, are you here? Jameson? Right? So some new technology. So you think Jameson just sits there with a pen and paper and tracks people? No, right? So SharePoint, so who helped with that? Where's IT? Right? There we go. So we intentionally focused on this. We measure it. You get what you measure, and look what's happened. We've gone from an 88% all the way up to, we're hovering around 94, 95% of that participation level with our members, which means they are going to succeed when they get out of here. That's huge. So thank you for the team to do that. And so then you got to ask, is it working, right? Because we can put all this effort in and we can make them sit in seats and sit in group, but if we're not doing a good job, then something's wrong. So the next question we ask is about program quality. And there's a way that we measure that. We ask our members. So who knows what NPS stands for? Net Promoter Score. It's a very simple question. Everybody, when they leave, we ask them one simple question on a scale of 1 to 10. how likely are you to recommend New Freedom to your friends or family? And then we follow up with one simple question after that, with one word. Why? Right? So I will tell you, it's more than just an average of 1 to 10. It's a little bit more complicated of an equation there. But I will tell you that a 60 is really damn good. We set our sights at a 70. Since May, we have been hovering around 80. So I would say it's working, but let's hear it in the words of our members. So again, the question is, would you give us a 1 to a 10? They give a number, and then why? Because from the very beginning and all the way to the end, I received nothing but the absolute best care, love, and help with everything and anything I needed. Holy cow. That's you guys making that happen. I didn't make that up. Someone said that. Special in every way. God bless you all. Thank you so much. Nothing else like it. God is present here. I think that's all the Bibles we buried way back when, right? It's helped me become a member of society. That is exactly what we want to hear, right? It gets your life right if you put the work in, right? That's what we tell them all day long. Someone got it, right? New Freedom is a top quality rehab that has helped me get to the root of my issues and conquer them. They are the most friendly and inviting people I've ever met. I'd recommend this to anyone and everyone trying to better themselves. This place really does work. Feels good to read this stuff, doesn't it? Yeah. Because from the very beginning and all the way to the end, I received nothing but the absolute best care, love, and help with everything and anything I needed. And I love this one. I learned so much about how to maintain a successfully sober lifestyle. It gave me hope. I'm not overwhelmed with society first day out of prison. I came in not knowing where I was going. Now I have goals and ambition. New Freedom taught me self-love, guidance, maturity, what self-worth is, and this is what I love. There's so much I'm me because of New Freedom. See what you're all doing? Love it. Okay, now I want to talk through some of the accomplishments. Again, we're looking back on the gains that we made. We're not looking forward at the future right now. After I'm done, we're going to do that, by the way. But right now, we're going to look back and see what we accomplished. Number one, industry and community good standing. When you get on the naughty list, it's not a good thing. People talk about you, and not in a good way. We have worked very hard. Under Matt's leadership, I can't tell you how often he's in there behind closed doors, fighting the battles, building those relationships with the MCOs, the payers, with ADCRR, with Access, etc. It's not an easy job, and it's not an overnight job. And under his leadership, and with many others as well, we are improving there. Director Thornell calls us now. Where's George Nolan? Is he here? George Nolan. So Director Thornell has his phone number and calls him to ask advice on stuff today, as an example, right? We've got, right? Matt now has a direct line to many people at the MCOs at the C level that we didn't have in the past. We can talk through things with them. We didn't used to be able to do that. That is huge. It's just a couple of words on a frame, but it's absolutely huge. Growth. So we already talked about this at the beginning. We're growing the women's facility. We're on the transformation. We got the corrections program going. So we're growing, right? It's not just what happens here in these walls. Did anyone in this room have anything to do with growing the women's facility? Yeah? Lots of you, right? And what about correctional transformation? Anyone have anything to do with that? right? We're making it happen elsewhere. Come on. Okay. You're going to be like, yeah, whatever. Our finance team has been through 3 audits. And you're like, oh, yeah, someone came in, they visited, we had to do a couple things. It doesn't work that way. So when you borrow money, when you work with banks, when you work with money, they want to make sure that you are responsible with their money and that you're capable of running a business that gets that money back to them, right? If it just makes sense. And they don't just come in and poke around a little bit. They get in your stuff. And they did that 3 times this year. And your stuff better all be in one bucket, or you don't get that money, or you get in trouble. So you walk up there on the 4th floor across the street, and you're like, what do they do all day? That's what they're doing, right? Among others. But that was a huge accomplishment for our finance team. So hats off to you guys. Now, Siobhan mentioned this, right? They started this, the HR ticket process, so you have a help desk for HR now. This whole concept of internal service, right? There are such things as internal customers. Our members are our customers, the payers are our customers, Access is our customers, but we are each other's customers. HR knows that. She just proved that when she was up here. IT knows that. Maintenance knows that. How phenomenal is it that you can just put in a ticket now and people come help you? That didn't happen when I first got here, right? And they're killing it. So hats off to everybody who's helping keep that service level up. And this is huge too. So guess what? If we don't take a certain Access Medicaid insurance, and somebody comes here, we don't get paid. Funny, right? So having gone through what we did, we don't have contracts with all those payers. And it's very important that we scrub through the ones that do, get the ones who are coming here on the right program. That's been a huge lift with Candace, Maddie, and now Kayla. Is Kayla in the room? Kayla. So Kayla has come on board, and her sole focus is making sure that everybody has that right coverage. And that's a huge uplift to where we were. So thank you, Kayla, for that. Who loves Reliance? All right, we've got 6 more days to finish up our monthly. I know I've got 2 more classes left myself, but you're done. Atta girl. All right, well, good. That's what I want to talk about then. So we added a whole lot of curriculum to Reliance, right? When we got JCO certified, we had to make sure everybody was up and up on what they needed to know, and we're keeping up. And we are smart people, as they would say in Boston, right? We've got a lot of training, and we're wicked smart. So keep up the Reliance training. I'm going to get on track. Everybody here is going to get 100% this month, right? All right. So, funny thing is, most of the people in this room are about providing the service to the member and getting them through group and helping them get their license and all the stuff we do for them. And when we're done, we ain't done. The billing team takes over. We have to actually get paid for what we do. And that doesn't happen overnight, right? It takes days, sometimes months to get paid because people don't like to give away their money for some reason. So we've really taken a deep dive into the process of the billing team. Where are they? Right over here. So deep dive into the billing team on collecting a bunch of the old stuff that got messed up with this whole naughty list nonsense, and now figuring out the best process to be efficient and effective at collecting that money so we can do things like invest in a women's facility or Dunlap or the next best thing, right? So real big focus on there, so thank you. You're in the middle of it. Thank you for continuing that effort. It's getting better and better in the billing team. Success Care growth. Anyone from Success Care here? No, Leanna? Okay. So when it was Nomi at the time, right? We took on Matt Services, and Nomi came in to help, and it was a challenge, yeah? It wasn't smooth. And Matt Services, you're kidding, we gotta take people on Matt Services now? But look at it now. So Success here has stepped up. They're a partner. We're taking care of their medical needs. We're getting them set up in the women's facility. So another big win for us there. I only have 2 more. Stick with me here. So data analysis. Again, I'm a big data guy. If you don't look at it, you don't know what's going on. Kyle has really helped us to dig in. He can tell you what our recidivism rate, and I was amazed. We just did a tour with probation up at the women's facility, and we talked about, I think I said something about the recidivism rate, and they're like, well, how did you measure that? And I was like, well, we looked at the past 3 years, who went back in? Well, what about this? What about, and Kyle stepped in, and he gave all the details that exactly match the way ADCR. So that's important, because that's what we're all about, is decrease recidivism. And finally, LinkedIn and Facebook. Our social media platform is we're newbies at it, right? We just took it to a little bit of a new level. George has been posting all kinds of neat stuff out there, and I'm gonna ask you guys a favor. Oh, it didn't make it. Shoot. Well, I'm still gonna ask you a favor. I had the QR codes I thought up there. Can you read it from there? But I request that you go in and find our Facebook page, find the LinkedIn page, follow it, like it, comment on it, tell the whole world how damn good we are, right? They need to know, all right? All right, and then I'll leave you with this. Here we go, there's the number. So if you are released traditionally from prison today in Arizona, your chances of recidivating are about 42%. If you graduate New Freedom, your chances of recidivating are 6%. You are all responsible for that number. You've done an amazing job. You continue to do an amazing job. You are transformative, you are tenacious, and you are restorative. So please keep that up, and I thank you for all that you do. So we talked a little bit about the women's facility, and here to tell you a little bit more. Now you can stand up, I'm introducing you. I'll tell you a little bit more and share a couple of snaps is David Whitey, who's our Senior Director of Infrastructure, and he's been instrumental in getting this launched.
Hey guys, I appreciate it. Mark, thank you so much for just pointing out the gains. I think for me personally, I get bogged down by the day-to-day and forget where we came from, what we saw, the joy, and just all of you guys being a part of that. I think it's instrumental across the board. I'd like to give a shout out to all of you guys again, just seeing this come through this big season of just building back up again. I think it's most important. For me, I'm excited to share a little bit about the women's facility. As you can see here, there's some before photos on here. We purchased this building, I think it was last year, Matt, right? We purchased the building last year, and we've been working on it diligently, finding problems left and right, partnering with Waltz Construction to be able to do a lot of repairs. What's beautiful about this building is, and I get goosebumps every time I think about it, do a tour over there, is that this will be a place where women will be able to come to help with generational challenges. They'll be able to help with re-entering successfully. We'll be able to take the special sauce from here and bring it over there and multiply it times 2. It's a beautiful thing. This building here has had its own challenges, much like this building here. Well, I should say the women's facility had these challenges here. You can see that we have a big, beautiful entryway. We've had some plumbing challenges to go through, walls to rip open, concrete to tear up, flooring to go through. So it's been a really great, fun project if you like getting messy in that sense. Over here you can see that each room was completely redone. We had new flooring put in, so shout out to the Votech team to help out with that, the infrastructure team, facilities, housekeeping to be able to help manage a lot of that stuff. You can see that we're able to knock out a bunch of rooms and create these big, beautiful classroom sizes that you can see next. We have, this is what the front lobby looks like now. There's a newly renovated pool, there's a golf green. I like to say that we flew in African Egyptian grass. Or Egyptian grass that's brown and wonderful, but it's actually just dead. So it's really pretty there. We have a beautiful gazebo, and what is nice here is that this is a common area that we redid for our staff. So this will be what a lot of our staff will be able to sit down in. Members have come in and talk to them. So it's a great place. Here as well, you can see what the rooms look like. So when we put the new flooring in, each room will be equipped with desks and chairs for the women. They'll have cabinets and millwork, countertops to work, extra storage. You can see that they'll have brand new beds, brand new linens to work and live on. It's a beautiful room. These pictures don't do it justice, guys. I can tell you right now, when you walk there, you can feel just the welcome home atmosphere. It's just, those that have been there, it's just beautiful. Again, I just get chills thinking about it, about how beautiful it's going to be. Or already is. You can see an example of a classroom that's been remodeled and done over there. And then our big, beautiful fitness area that's been all done. So shout out to the fitness team to be able to manage all that. Those things are not light, and they've been able to go through that process. Here at the women's facility, we'll have about 150 heads and beds, which will be a great process. If you have further questions, please go to the chat with Matt. They'll be able to talk a little bit more about what that looks like. You see me walk in, grab me. I'll happily show you a little bit about what the facility looks like, answer questions in that sense. It's really, guys, the pictures don't do it justice. And I am most excited to see what we can do with the family reunification there, partnering with DCS to be able to get them on site to work with the women, our safety team, our kitchen team, our member services team. Anybody that's working there is going to be really just going to be a blessing, guys, and I'm most excited about that. I'm also really excited to show this next video here. It's a walk down memory lane. Thank you to the media team for putting this together. You can see that for the past 4 years where we've come from, so I'm just happy to introduce that and see what that looks like. Thanks, guys.
You can do better than that. No. You can do better than that. Stand to your feet and give God a praise in this place. Magnify the Lord with me in this exalted name. Listen, if you all don't want to praise Him, I know somebody who will. Come on. That's what I'm talking about. God is in this place.
If you've never seen the dead rise from the grave, you have it now. If you've never seen perfect love break chains, you have it now. If you've never seen mercy make depression fade, you have now. Oh, if you never looked a miracle in the face, you have.
I gotta tell you, this is just the most funnest I've ever had in my entire life, dude. I love my job. I love the people I work with. I love spending time with people I work with. Just all around a great vibe. And I'm home. And I just can't thank New Freedom enough for what it's doing to change people's lives and also in the process it's changing my life.
'Cause I'm still breathing now. I can't help but shout. I gotta let it out and let praise break through. If you've never seen anxiety bow at Jesus' name, you have it now. If you've never seen addiction conquered by grace, you have it now. Oh, if you've never seen a generational curse break, you have now. Oh, if you've never looked a miracle in the face, you have it now. 'Cause if you knew my past, if you knew where I've been, if you knew what He brought me through, you would lift your hands, you'd sing and dance, you wouldn't miss this chance, no, you'd thank Him.
I would like to say thank you from the bottom of my heart, because I know if it weren't for people like you to help people such as myself, they wouldn't know how to get out of that hole that they've fallen into. That was a big issue for me. I wanted a better life for myself, but I just didn't know how to get out of that hole that I had put myself in behind my addiction and bad life choices. So I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your support. You understand? Thank you.
One more thing for me, and you took more than enough. We've seen so much. I've no choice but trust.
Good morning. If I haven't got the pleasure of meeting you yet, my name is Megan Murphy, and I'm the Executive Director of New Freedom Project. So, I wanted to give you an update on what we have been up to the past few months. So, New Freedom Project's mission is to create generational change and strengthen communities by providing critical resources to individuals post-incarceration. So we have a few of our current programs up here. They include everything from providing clothing and hygiene for members right when they arrive in their welcome bags, as well as their vocational uniforms and PPE as they do their vocational training. We also provide scholarships for members during their stay, for everything from their driver's license, their post-graduation housing before that first paycheck, as well as medical or transitional needs. We have recently taken on a new program, which we're excited about. You saw Anthony in that video is one of our scholarship recipients. So if a member does not have the insurance program they need to go through the program, then NFP will cover their full stay. So as NFP grows, we're excited to take on some new programs. These, as an outpatient facility, New Freedom Project does not receive state funding for housing, food, or fitness of individuals while they receive treatment here. So New Freedom Project plans to fully fund the cost of housing, feeding, and providing wellness for each member at the facility. So that's very exciting. So as you can imagine, that's going to take a lot of donations from our community. So when you're talking to your friends and family about the important work you do, don't be shy to let them know that they can help out by supporting New Freedom Project. And we have an exciting opportunity to help them do that at essentially no cost to them. So New Freedom Project is now a qualified charitable organization, or a QCO. So. Thank you. Arizona provides tax credits for individuals who make contributions to qualified charitable organizations. So when individuals make those cash donations to these charities, they can claim those tax credits on their personal Arizona state income taxes and get a dollar-for-dollar tax benefit, reducing your state tax liabilities for each dollar donated to charities up to the maximum allowable amount. So you can see those amounts here. It is $470 for individuals, or $938 for people filing married jointly. And so there is no minimum amount, and you can take that max and divide it up monthly if that's easier for you. But we really just ask that you support however you can and share this opportunity for support with your friends and family. We've recently posted about it on our LinkedIn and our Facebook, so get on there, follow it, like it, and share it with your community. You can also scan this QR code behind me. We have a whole spot on our website with an FAQ of any question you might have about QCOs or charitable tax credits. You can always reach out to me as well if you have any questions about that. And you might have seen other tax credits for things like public schools, foster charity organizations, and private school tuitions. You can do all of them. So if you already participate in those, you can still add the charitable tax credit to your list and support New Freedom Project. Those tax dollars that you earn are so important, and instead of going to the general fund, you can shift that power to yourself and make sure they're going to the members here at New Freedom. So it's a really cool opportunity, and we hope that you take advantage of it and inspire others too as well. As I said, if you have any questions about New Freedom Project or what we're doing, you can always feel free to reach out to me. I want to give a special shout out to my team, Tracy and Bill, and to each one of you for the incredibly important work that you do that makes our mission possible. I'm very excited and honored to be here, and I'm just really appreciative of all of you. So thank you. And with that, I am going to hand it over to Catherine.
Okay, so I know there's no raffle, but I have some other excellent, amazing, super cool stuff to talk about. So I'm really excited that I get to bookend from chat because it has been an incredible journey. I got a little misty at the video. I was here 4 years ago. This time 4 years ago, we were all in a panic. We had no clue what we were gonna do. We had no idea how this was all going to happen. We were scattered. But look at us now. I think about everything that's happened, and it's so reflective of the members that we serve. They are scattered when they're incarcerated, thinking about what they're going to do next, how they're going to do something different. And that's what New Freedom did. We took a leap. I had worked in behavioral health for a very long time, and there was nothing like New Freedom. How could there be? For so long, the incarcerated population is the forgotten population. So on October 1st, we took a leap. We literally, by the seat of our pants, tried to figure this out. And we did so with intention and love and caring and knowing that we were going to do the next right thing for that person that was coming out of prison. So 4 years is a long time, but we've had our trials and tribulations. We're not gonna say the words because we don't say it. It's kind of like, saying Beetlejuice. We're not gonna say it a whole bunch. But we've always rebounded. Think about our members and the resiliency that they have to have. Average incarceration in New Freedom is 17 years. Think of the resiliency and the hope and the determination of those individuals to do something different, just like all of us, every single day, to do something different for our members. So, in the 4 years, we have had almost, goodness, we are so close, to 3,000 graduates. That's pretty astounding. Probably by today there has been 3,000, but when I ran the numbers, it was almost, we were 11 away from 3,000. If you think about that, the national average of individuals that even complete a substance use program, even go all the way start to finish, that's only 42%. When you think of the national statistics of individuals that recidivate, return to custody, it's 42%. Those are interesting numbers. Our numbers of people that complete our program from the time of entering is 55%. That's a big deal. If you think about recidivism, if you think about truly the number of it, of our graduates, 180 individuals have returned to custody. And that could be a heartbreaking number, but those individuals know that New Freedom exists, and more than likely they are coming back to us. I know our mentorship team does a lot to make sure that when they go back in, they come back right to us. The idea of that is really important because, again, it shows the value of what we're doing, the generations that we're impacting by what we do. But it doesn't stop there. The Transitional Services Program, formerly the SAGE program, is up and running for here in the building. We have 124 individuals that are currently utilizing that program here in our building. Now imagine when that becomes countywide. The individuals that we might not reach through mentorship that are going to get a New Freedom program while they're in the community being successful, knowing that if something happened, New Freedom has the program and the ability to help them. That's big, that's huge. But But not only that, this year we also got the experience to now start providing services in the prison. So through our correctional services team, we are actually now providing substance abuse treatment while individuals are incarcerated. And I have had the honor of going out. I love working in prison. That's where I first started my love for this work. I have been to Douglas and Winslow. For the drivers, so much respect. Those are horrible drives, especially to Apache. I don't know what they did to their roads, but they need to fix it. Right now, we have 132 inmates across 3 complexes that are enrolled for our services. And even though this program got up and running since March, we have already had 48 individuals successfully complete that program, which is a 3-month program. That's a very big deal because now every time we go onto the units, we get to hear about New Freedom. We get to hear from individuals that say they're coming to New Freedom, that they're excited about New Freedom. We got called the Cadillac of programs by a CO3. I love hearing from individuals that talk about the fact that New Freedom writes them letters. There was an inmate that said that he was in the hole, and he was in the hole for months, but he counted on and didn't think he would get it, but every month he got a letter from New Freedom. That's a big deal. We do such amazing work throughout the entire day. We have so many different individuals that impact these members on a daily basis. We do this with so much intention. We're not just running a program to run a program, we're running an evidence-based program that is changing lives. And what I want you guys to all remember, so June, we received our Joint Commission accreditation, which was all thanks to everybody here. Another big number to remember is that only we are one of 360 programs in the state of Arizona that have Joint Commission accreditation. And we're only 4 years old. Sage isn't Joint Commission. I'm just saying, it's a rumor, I heard something, but it's not like confirmed, but it's not on their website like it's on ours. So what I want to say is that I love this work that we do. I love the individuals that we influence because we are doing such amazing work. And I am just so thankful and happy that I got to be here this entire time and to see where we're going. Because, man, if we could do all of that in 4 years, getting knocked down twice, having everybody think that New Freedom wasn't going to be around, and now is like it never happened, I'm very excited for us. So I am very excited for all of you. I want to thank all of you for what you do. You make impacts in the smallest of ways, and it goes a very long way for the individuals we serve. So I want to thank all of you for that. So we're going to go ahead and end there, but before we do, nobody get up. No, I don't have a raffle. We have to turn this room back into group rooms. So everybody, we're going to need help moving chairs, putting stuff away, and doing all of that. But again, I want to give everybody a big thank you because without all of you, we can't do what we do for our members. So thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful rest of your day. But I'm serious about the chairs. I'm super serial. Oh my gosh, nobody leave. I see people leaving. All right, I'm writing down names. I see you. I see what's happening. I see you, Tyler. I see you, buddy. All right, next time, right? Next time. Look at this. Everybody